Hi folks, welcome to this little video on self-efficacy. So self-efficacy is very much a form of self-confidence, but that leads me into my first point. It can sometimes come up as a little explain the difference between the two question. What is the difference between self-efficacy and self-confidence? Let's have a look at that first. So self-confidence, the key word there is general. It's a general feeling of confidence towards an activity, a game, opponent, a challenge, something like that. Okay, so self-confidence is very much a general feeling. In contrast to that then, self-efficacy, as you can see, is situational specific form of self-confidence. So for example, if you've got someone who's low in self-confidence towards, I don't know, hockey, something like that, they might just feel, oh, I'm not going to perform well today. My self-confidence is low with regard to this match. Whereas you might have a forward in hockey, okay, whose passing is really good, link-up play is really good, tackling and blocking is really good, but they haven't scored in 5 games. And, you know, you could put them in front of an open goal and they'd still miss. They've got low self-efficacy towards shooting. It's situational specific. I don't feel confident with regards to my shooting. The rest of my performance, I'm very confident with. So you could have low self-efficacy in a certain technique. You could have high self-efficacy. Someone who's scoring for fun. No matter how they hit it, no matter where it comes off the hockey stick, it always seems to go in. That would be someone with a high self-efficacy for shooting in hockey. So there are two key definitions we need to be aware of. Okay, so if you're happy with those, we'll move on to the model that we've got above, which is Bandura's model of self-efficacy. The factors that can affect your self-efficacy, your situational specific form of self-confidence. So this is the same Bandura, psychologist who looked at observational learning, social learning theory, whichever you prefer to call it. But the point is, this is something different. This isn't, a variation of that. This is a different model that Bandura looked at in terms of self-efficacy, this situational form of self-confidence. And Bandura identified that there were 4 key things, 4 key factors that affected your self-efficacy. Performance accomplishments, as we've got there, vicarious experiences, verbal persuasion, and emotional arousal. So let's just basically have a look at each one now in turn. And as you might expect, it's hardly rocket science. Performance accomplishment means that if you've been successful, you're going to have high self-efficacy. You're on a winning streak, things are going well, you're scoring goals or keeping clean sheets or you're dominating your opponents week in, week out. That's going to lead to high self-efficacy. If you're on a run of bad results, then that is going to lead to low self-efficacy. So teams at the top of the league, why do they win the title? Because they win a lot. It's as simple as that, no matter what the sport is. So their previous successes, their performance accomplishments allow them to build their self-efficacy, whereas teams at the bottom of the league, why do they struggle to win games? It's because they've got low self-efficacy. We just can't win, okay? Right, so next then is a vicarious experience. You might have heard of this, in this word vicarious, used a lot in common terminology. Sometimes pushy parents who, make the kids go to all these clubs and, take up this sport and you've got to do this and you've got to do that. They're accused of living vicariously. In other words, you have your experiences through other people. So what we're basically saying there is, by watching other people of a similar ability, that can affect your self-efficacy. So think about a common example that's given there is when you did trampolining at school and you wanted to try a somersault. If you watched a teacher do a somersault, that didn't improve your self-efficacy because you're a teacher, you're an adult, you should be able to do that. If you saw one of your classmates do one for the first time, suddenly you had increased self-efficacy. All right, I'm going to give it a go now because I think I can. If they can do it, then I can do it. So vicarious experience is watching others with similar ability, and that can affect our self-efficacy. Obviously, it can go the other way as well. If you see someone of a similar ability mess something up or get injured or not compete well, that can lower your self-efficacy because you think, oh, I'm like them, I'm of a similar ability, and if they can't do it, then I don't think I'll be able to do it either. So vicarious experience, watching others and having that influence your self-efficacy. So thirdly then is verbal persuasion. Put simply, any comments that you receive from a significant other, a coach, a role model, mum or dad, grandma or granddad, a teammate that you respect, that can affect your self-efficacy. Because if they say good things about you, you're going to have increased self-efficacy. If they criticise you and say you're not doing it right, that can lower your self-efficacy. So again, it can go one of two ways. But the point is, it's got to be from a significant other, someone that you respect. A comment from someone who you don't know who they are or what their role is or their significance to you, it doesn't matter. It washes over you. It's got to be from a significant other. And like I said, positive comments will increase your self-efficacy. Negative comments will reduce your self-efficacy. And finally then, Bandura's fourth factor is this emotional arousal. So coming back to your theories of arousal, basically if we get you to your optimal arousal level, you will have high self-efficacy. Under-aroused, you'll have low self-efficacy. Over-aroused, you'll have low self-efficacy. So getting at your optimal level of arousal is needed for high self-efficacy. Now, if this was to come up as a long answer topic, you're going to get marks for defining self-efficacy and self-confidence. You're going to get marks for naming each of these four, and you're going to get marks for saying how they affect self-efficacy, saying how they affect it, okay? A typical follow-up question will be, right, what can a coach do to improve it? Now, the thing is, it's nothing new. It's, again, just using this and adding a little bit more, applying a little bit more. So that's what we're going to look at now. So strategy to improve self-efficacy. This is taking those four things that we've just looked at there and giving them a practical application, okay? So one of the things we looked at was performance accomplishments. Now, we're not going to write that again because we're not going to double our marks. But what was it? Past success, or success increases self-efficacy, defeat lowers self-efficacy. So what do? Even on a training ground situation, I ensure success. I make sure that everyone experiences a bit of success on the training ground, okay? To allow them to know what it feels like to boost their self-efficacy. Linked in with that, it's always important, always worth a mark in the vast majority of psychology topics. Set goals, in particular, SMART targets. Give them something that's realistic, relevant, time-bound, specific, measurable, so they boost their self-efficacy when they achieve it, okay? The next thing we looked at, if you remember, was that vicarious experience. Watching someone else be successful boosts your self-confidence, okay? So, if we watch correct demonstrations, that is going to boost our self-efficacy. Look at that, I can do it like that. That looks so easy. It might not be, but it's going to make us feel that way, okay? What else can we say? As we said, what is a vicarious experience? It's when we watch someone of a similar ability. So demonstrations, most effective when performed by someone of similar ability. If you're a beginner and you're watching Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo doing, volleys, something like that, that's not going to boost your self-efficacy. You might be in awe of it, you might be inspired, but it's not going to boost your self-efficacy. You need to watch someone of a similar ability to you. So there are four ways that we can improve self-efficacy using those first two things we looked at. Performance accomplishments, I might write in there performance accomplishments, and these two here were all about vicarious experiences. What was the third one? It was verbal persuasion. So what can we do to boost self-efficacy? Praise, encourage, things like that. What should we not do? Well, we should avoid what we like to call social comparisons. Don't go, oh, yours was brilliant, but yours wasn't too good. Okay, yeah. Oh, Billy, that was absolutely outstanding. Bobby, that was a bit average. Not as good as Billy's, was it? Do you know what I mean? So you need to avoid doing that, okay? And they're the ones, pretty much that we can, link to verbal persuasion, okay? The other one we looked at was making sure they were optimal arousal level. So, what have we got? A good old-fashioned anxiety and arousal control techniques. Cognitive and somatic techniques. So I'll write in brackets there. Cognitive and somatic. Imagery. Mental rehearsal. Progressive muscle relaxation, centering, all those things as well. So that's the one linked to emotion, as we've written at the start. Don't really need doing that, but there we go. That's the one linked to emotional arousal. So we can use the 4 things that we've mentioned, the 4 factors that Bandura identified, and say, right, here's how we could actually use them now to increase self-efficacy or improve someone's self-efficacy. But there are just a couple of other ones that we can just add. Okay, these are, just general ones. Giving someone one-to-one support. Increasing your contact time with them. That's going to boost their self-efficacy, because what is it going to do? Basically, it's going to give them more time to help you do some goal setting, okay, more time for praise and encouragement, okay, more time to allow them to help you control your arousal levels, little things like that. That's what it's going to essentially allow you to do. What else can you do? It's linked to that top one there, ensure success. Watch, past successful performances. We live in an age now where everything gets recorded, mobile phones, tablets, Android devices, things like that. So we've got a big digital footprint. I bet your parents filmed you a lot. I bet there's lots of footage of your games, matches, competitions. Go back and watch some times where you did it right. Boost your self-efficacy. Say, look how I did it then, I'm going to do that. I like it again this week. So they're all common strategies that we can use. So if this were to come up as an essay question, that first slide that we looked at, Bandura, that's the first part of the essay. They're the factors that affect self-efficacy. This is the second half. What can a coach do to effectively improve or increase someone's self-efficacy? Hope you've found it useful, folks. Thank you very much.